2007, and I'm walking through one of the buildings in downtown Minneapolis where I work when I come across a car dealership. Now, something compels me to go inside this car dealership for some reason. I never want to go into a car dealership. I don't want to go into any area where I know that there's going to be aggressive salespeople ready to attack me. Yet, here I am going into this car dealership. I don't know why. But then it occurs to me last weekend, I was just at the house of one of the partners at the firm where I work. He was having a poker party. And I drive a 10-year-old Dodge Intrepid with squealing sounds coming out of the engine, other problems that I was perfectly okay with 2 weeks ago. But all of a sudden, I think I need a new car. And I think I realized when I went to his house, almost everybody else at the firm was there. And so I saw all of their cars. And so I kind of thought, if I ever want to rise to the ranks at this firm, I'm going to have to do what these people do. And that is get a nice car. So that's what happened. I recognized that I didn't belong to the group. I wanted to be a part of people who succeeded at this firm. But the fact that I didn't meant that I needed to try to start doing things that they were doing. Find out more right after this. Hey, it's Eric Hagen. I'm a financial therapist with a specialization in mindset and happiness. Here with another Money Health presentation. We're going to talk about our need for belonging and how that can get hijacked. This is me over here, and I didn't feel a part of that group. So our need for belonging can get hijacked when we feel like there's a group that we want to belong to, but we don't belong to it. Seth Godin, marketing guru and author Seth Godin, has a saying that people like us do things like this. What he's saying is people like us do things like this. So if we can define, by we, I mean marketers, if marketers can define what people like us is, and they can make you feel like you're not part of the group, then they'll say, here's what people like us do. They can nudge you into doing things that they want you to do. And so this is a very strong fact. This gets hijacked all the time, the sense for belonging. So a chance that you'll buy something, if you don't need it, you're probably not going to buy it. If you do need it, you might buy it. But if your peers buy it, the people that you associate with buy it, now you're going to buy it. And my mentor, Dr. Ted Klontz, has kind of distilled all of our basic human needs down to 6 needs. BASSPC. BASPC. So B, this is the one we're going to talk about today. Belonging, or sense for belonging. The need that we have to be part of the group. A is autonomy. That means we need to make our own choices. S is for safety or security. That just means we need to feel safe. And the next S is for self-expression. We need to feel heard and understood. The P is for purpose, meaning we need to feel like we belong, that we matter, that we have some reason for here and we can live, or being here and we can live a meaningful life. And C is for connection, having interpersonal relationships. Now, of those needs, safety and security is probably attacked most because, our need for survival is pretty strong. But belonging is the next biggest piece that gets hijacked. Because if this is the group, the circle represents the group, you being inside the group, that's belonging. That's how they identify people like us. They say, here's a group of people. Let's try to carve out people. And once you become a part of the group, you turn from a me into a us. An I into a us. And I want to be an us. I don't want to be a them to the group that I want to belong to. I want to be a us. I want to be a part of that group. And once I'm a part of that group, those marketers can hook us. They can hook us with their belonging. Because now that I know what group I want to be a part of, they can nudge me along and say, here's the things you're going to do. Here's the things that we want you to do. The antidote, if this is such a strong thing and it happens all the time, it happens to everybody, even those of us who are trained in this stuff, how can we stop it? Kind of a two-part answer to that question. The first is have a sense of financial purpose. Know what your money's for and start to live more intentionally. And what I mean by that is if the stimulus and response might be impulse and purchase, if those are too close together, we're going to call this an impulsive decision. So if we felt like if we wouldn't feel it, if our need for belonging was hijacked, they want to get that response. It wouldn't even be a response, it would be a reaction. The reaction, the purchase, the buy, the decision will happen too close to the stimulus. We make an impulsive decision, that's what they want. So if we can do anything to grow that space between stimulus and response, which one way to do this is to run it past your financial purpose statement. Wow, what I just thought about doing, is that in alignment with my financial purpose, with what money needs to do for me? Is money in my life so that I can buy this thing? And that's one way to grow this space between stimulus and response. But anything you can do, you can get curious. You can say, wait a second, why do I want this so bad? Growing that space between stimulus and response makes it an intentional decision and helps get you away from making an impulsive decision. Because if we can get curious, if we can lean into these weird things, investigate like a little scientist, like a little investigator. Wow, that's weird. I wonder why that happened. I better look into this a little bit more. Instead of our default mode, which is just to avoid it. Say, oh, that's weird. I don't want to think about it. If we can move towards curiosity, then our awareness increases. When our awareness increases, we're being more mindful of our finances. When we're more mindful of our finances, we are living more intentionally. We'll live happier lives. We'll live more meaningful lives. So be curious, lean into it, understand what's the money for, and just understand that your need for belonging is being hijacked. You only have one life. Live intentionally.